Okay.
Now,
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone. My name is Valentina Rabanal. I'm the ES officer. I'm in charge of the International Project Office of the Young Earth System Science Community, and I'm based in Argentina. And my office is in the Argentina Meteorological Service in Buenos Aires. Today, I will talk to you a little bit about what we do in YES and what we have been doing the past months and the past years. And of course, if you have any question, you can leave it and I can reply later. First, who we are, what is the YES community? We are a network that was created 12 years ago in Germany, in Europe, and nowadays we have members in more than 120 countries. And what we do is try to foster international and transdisciplinary leaders in all the Earth System Science, all Earth System Sciences, to try to provide solutions that can benefit not only ourselves but the community. This paragraph that I'm now paraphrasing is part of our strategic action plan that we published 2 years ago. So a little bit about our structure. We have an executive council. Right now has 7 members. All of them are elected every year. You can be an executive member 1 year and being re-elected the following year. That's not a problem. We also have 4 working groups. Each of them has some specific tasks. Like, for example, we have outreach, which is in charge, for example, of preparing this presentation of all our social media. Then we have science, where, for example, we are now developing different perspective papers, and it's also in charge of other projects that I will mention in some minutes. Then we have online events, online activities working group, which it has been one of the most active during the pandemic since everything was online. They have been developing different webinar series during the pandemic. And then we have the membership website management, where we are in charge not only in charge about the membership and approving the new members, but also we were in charge of the website. And then we have the ES office that I mentioned is nowadays hosted by the Argentina Meteorological Service. But before continuing, I want to mention something else about the structure. We have 7 regions, and these members are elected every year as well by our YES Council, which is a group around 40 members. So one of them includes our most active members. We have nowadays around 200 members, and this group is around 40, 50. And then we have 7 regions with 2 representatives per region, and they are our contact points in this part of the world, because imagine that if not, it will be impossible for me to be in contact and checking all the activities that we are doing in each one of these regions. As I mentioned, we have 2,000 members in more than 120 countries, and nowadays we are focused on expanding our presence, not in the number of members, but in a number of countries. Like, for example, we are trying to be more present in the Central Asia countries, in some Asian countries as well, and in Central America as well. Some of the activities that we developed in the past 2 years, of course, we have been doing a lot since YES was created in 2010, but in the past 2 years, during the pandemic, we were really active. And one of the benefits of YES was that we are a fully online network, so we are already used to having online activities, even before the pandemic. So we were already prepared, and we have all the tools we need to continue doing it as we were doing it. And in these past 2 years, we have been present in different international events, such as EGU this year in Vienna, SRI in South Africa, the WCRP, which is one of the WMO projects in June, and also the WWRP Symposium, which is another group of WMO. Oh, there's something happening with my camera. I don't know why. And all these activities were, or even some of them were online, and others were in a hybrid format. And then we also have members participating in different international initiatives. Some of them are part of the WMO network, like the GWIX gas panel, the WCRP lighthouse activities, or even the Global Atmospheric Watch Steering Committee. But we are also present in other leading groups, like, for example, Future Earth and its governing council. Then, like around 2.5 months before this meeting, we published a perspective paper that I will mention in some minutes. But in this paper, some YES members reflected on how growing data-intensive activities is dominating right now the climate research, and what is the consequences of this for the early career researchers around the world. Then, as I mentioned some minutes ago, the online activities working group have been really active during the pandemic. That can be seen on a number of webinar series. We held around 10 webinar series between June 2020 and July 2022, which is around 30 webinars, which are almost all of them are already uploaded in our YouTube channel. And continuing with this line of organizing online activities to include more people, we developed our first learning group last year in the second part of 2021. We developed and we hosted a learning group which was based in machine learning. I will mention this later, but it was really great. And nowadays we are starting to organize a second edition. Then, during the pandemic, we also start developing some interviews where we interview the leaders of different international projects about what are the opportunities for the young people to be part of these groups. And we are developing a manuscript about our IPCC group review with other early career networks. As I mentioned, we just in June we published this. July we published this perspective in the AGU Advances, and the title is "Are we at risk of losing the current generation of climate researchers to data science?" In this slide, you can see some of the key points of this. That nowadays, most of the time of the PhD students or even postdocs is centered around data science intensive activities, and that leaves really small amount of time to do other things like thinking or replying the scientific questions, or trying to do other activities outside the core of the project. And this issue wasn't only found in one part of the world. It's something that is happening everywhere, and that's why it's important to talk about it and trying to find solutions. I will share these slides later with the organizers, but we are collecting inputs right now to know the perspective of the early career researchers about this issue. So if you are an early career researcher and wants to give your input, you can leave it in this Google form that you can find the link there. And If not, this information is also in our social media, in the ES social media, and also in our website. As I mentioned, during the pandemic, we started developing a lot of webinars and in different topics. The idea was to cover a lot of earth system sciences with this, and also we developed some partnerships with other institutions or other networks to have a bigger audience to reach. For example, we developed some webinars with the Paus University from Africa. Before pandemic, we held 2 editions, and during last year we held the third one, and it's focused in sustainable development in Africa, because it's co-hosted with a university in Algeria. And then we also developed 2 editions of webinars with Global Atmospheric Watch Technical and Educational Center in Germany. The first edition was about atmospheric composition, and the second edition about reactive gases. All these webinars can be found in our YouTube channel, and they are free for everyone, and all of them are in English. But maybe some of the people in the audience are not English natives like myself. So something that we found in South America mainly is that sometimes speaking English is a privilege, and it's not something that everyone does. So what we are starting to do is developing webinars in different languages. We started with Spanish, because it can covers a lot of countries in South America and also in Europe, like Spain. So we are developing different webinars. We have now a series called Compartimos Ciencia, or Sharing Science in English, where different South American members presented their current job, the current work. It doesn't need to be a paper, but you can present what you are doing, or a case that you studied before in your work. That way, we want to give more visibility to what our members are doing in their jobs right now. Also, as I mentioned, we have a new project developed during the 2020 called Learning Groups. And the first one was hosted between July 2021 and December 2021. And the topic was machine learning for air system sciences. We have 45 early career researchers. Not all of them were ES members. This activity was open to everyone. That's something that I want to highlight from our activities. Most of them are open to everyone. You don't need to be a ES member. You can register, for example, for this or for participate on a webinar and attend no matter what. And if you can't attend it, you can watch the recording later in our YouTube channel. In this activity, for example, we have 45 people. We have 45 people. Oh, sorry. I don't know why my camera is. Okay, sorry. We have 45 people working on this project. We divide the members of this activity in 5 groups, and each one of them work on different scientific questions and then try to apply machine learning techniques to reply these questions. This activity was really great, and it was our first time doing it. And I think most of the people who participate were really happy with the results, because we didn't have a coach or a teacher or a professor guiding us. We did everything by ourselves. Each group decided which techniques use and which courses, if they want to apply to have to attend a course online together. That was entirely up to each group, and I think was really great, this activity. And as I mentioned, right now we are working on a new edition for the next year. Also, as I mentioned before, we have a new a new activity called Science Interviews, where we interview one or more key persons of different international projects about the aims of the project, what they have achieved, how the ECRs can be involved. So far, we have 3 interviews published in our website. Right now, we are working in 2 more. One should be published in the next weeks, so you will find it soon. And if you are from the from South Asia or the Indian Ocean area, you will be really interested to read about this new interview that will be published. And of course, if you know any project that it would be great to have in this section, you can always contact us to this email, and we will contact the speakers to see, or the leaders of these projects, to see if they are interested on having a presence in our website. And one of the activities that we have been developing also is an early group review for the IPCC Assessment Report 6. We did this with other early career networks like APEX, PEERN, MRI, and Pages ECN. And between all these networks, we coordinated an IPCC group review by early career researchers only, and we were part of not only the special report on the ocean and cryosphere in a changing climate, but also, as I mentioned, the assessment report 6, working group 1 and 2, and in both second order draft of each one of them. Right now we have 47 people working on an article about all our experience and all the knowledge, and also like some statistics, like for example how many members from which countries, from which fields, from which institutions. So we are using all this information to prepare a perspective, and we want to have it ready by the second semester of next year. Also, just to finish my presentation, this year, well, this activity is online right now, but this year, as you may know, we had the opportunity to start attending in-person activities again, at conferences, workshops, meetings, etc. And for example, we already have sessions or be speaker. We have people who are speakers in presentations or in meetings like EGU 2022, SRI 2022. And also we hosted, South American members hosted an ACR activity during a in-person workshop here in Buenos Aires and Argentina last month. But right now what we need to do is trying to find like a balance between all the physical events we know that are really important for the developing of the early career researchers networks and careers, but we also need to continue our online activities, because that way we can reach a bigger audience, and the people who maybe didn't have the opportunity to attend these in-person activities can have the opportunity of being included and being heard during these different activities or side events that we organize. So that was my presentation. I hope you find it interesting, and in case you have any questions, you can let me know. I wanted to share a video, but I don't know how to do that.
You can share your screen, but eventually you can share the link into the metaverse. So when we are running into the metaverse.
Okay, I will do that, because okay, I will stop presenting. Okay, that's it. I will try to enter again
the metaverse.
I
will send you the link.
Yeah, it's the Mozilla link, right?
Is a Mozilla, yes, Mozilla Hubs. So also for the people that are following you on YouTube, I send the link for joining the metaverse. I see a few friends. I see Lucia. Then there is James. Hi, James. Hi, Lucia. Also, now the speaker is joining us into the metaverse, so we can chat, we can have a talk with her.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't enter.
Just enter the room. Let
Yeah,
the page charge because
yeah.
it's gonna upload.
It says connecting to the scene, but nothing's happening. So
So
we want.
I saw that the yellow billet that maybe it's you are is joining. So also
Yes.
King Elder. I don't know King Elder where he is in the space. In the mean, guys, Kia and James, we can interact now. Hi, James. Do you want to introduce yourself, James? And also Lucia, if you want to introduce yourself.
No, I can't enter. It says
Yeah.
loading, connecting, but nothing is happening.
Let chart because maybe it takes a little bit time for upload. Don't close after the windows at the
Okay.
beginning. Let it charge because I saw that you are entering. I saw that
Okay.
news. Yeah.
Okay. I already pasted the link for our YouTube channel
Okay.
in the YouTube chat, but
Perfect.
I it says impossible to connect. Please try again later. Let's see if I can do it again.
Okay. In the meanwhile, I'll share also for the people
Okay.
that are on YouTube what we are doing. We are in the metaverse, so let's see if we can see the metaverse. Uh, Here we are. Okay. Okay, we are here for the ones that are following online. There is Lucia, James. Hi, Lucia. Hi, James. Hi. Can you hear me, James? Lucia, puoi sentirmi? So, Valentina, can you see my screen? What's happening in the metaverse?
Yeah, I can see your screen, but
Oh,
I can't
join.
join. I don't know why. It says impossible.
Maybe
Uh,
try to change browser. If you use Chrome, then maybe it can be
okay.
better.
I'm using Chrome. Yeah, but I don't
Ah,
know why.
okay.
I don't know if I have any other.
Here we are. This year we made this experiment of the virtual agora in 3D. That's the result. So I kindly invite also the people that are following in YouTube if they want to join. Let's see. Oh, we share the link and also we're gonna share the link of yes, that is this one, into our chat. So okay, you can. Let's try maybe for the last time. In the meanwhile, if there are some questions from the audience.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Yeah, let me know.
Oh, did you join? Did you join? Makoa is
Oh,
you. Makoa
I
is you.
no, I don't know. It says still, it's still connecting to the scene. I don't know
Okay,
why.
I
No,
saw
no,
that
it's not.
someone.
No, it's not me.
Okay, okay. By the way, my question is, for
Okay.
first of all, congratulations for your work as a young scientist and your contribution also for to the IPCC. The question that I want to address to you is if there is a dialogue also with the like with the main scientists of the IPCC and how they interact with you. Today we address the topic of science for change and how science can make a change and how it's important to bridge the gap, for example,
Yeah.
between the scientific knowledge and also the audience. And so, in your experience, what is the relationship also with the senior scientists, we can say?
Well, for example, every time we before starting the review of each one of the rounds, we have some like some trainings with some of the seniors, authors or co-authors of the different chapters or even the different working groups papers or working group reports. I'm sorry. So they can share with us some knowledge or some tips on how to make a better review. But also another way to include them in the discussion is like, for example, having some webinars with them. In the past, we have webinars with different IPCC senior scientists, but not only the IPCC, but for example, the ones that we hosted with GoTech. Most of the speakers were seniors from different parts of the world, working in different topics regarding atmospheric composition, reactive gases, for example, and the same we are having right now in Africa. The ones we do in Africa are open to everyone because the topic is sustainable development in Africa, which is a topic that involves everyone, and not only the scientists. So we during these meetings. We encourage the people in the audience to ask questions because it's not always easy to have the opportunity to be in front of these people. So we always try to
Okay.
have at least a meeting with the IPCC senior reviews or senior scientists, but also even though it's not easy, as you mentioned, um, connecting and breaking the gap between these two groups. I think networks like YES or also the different meteorological services around the world are right now trying to do that with different material and different videos or trainings to be more close, more closer with closer to the people.
Thank you very much. Another question, I'm very curious because I'm also a scientist in a way, and it's an honor to hear that there is this group, and is to understand, for example, their problem in understanding science. So you can be, we can say, considered into in the middle between the senior and maybe the newcomers. And how is the difficulties that you have with the new scientists, for example? And the second question is how to contribute for to this research that you mentioned and so on for a young scientist.
Um, well, regarding the first one, how to communicate with the younger generations, I think it's important to have them on board. This, for example, is something that we discover with the IPCC review. Some of our members they were able to apply and review by themselves, but most of the time you need to have experience reviewing to be an IPCC reviewer. But how can you get an experience? How can you be in touch with this kind of reviews if you never had the opportunity? That's why we contact IPCC and that way propose this idea to them. Um, and trying to create opportunities to different generations. Um, what some of the members or some of the people who participate of the IPCC review, for example, were like finishing their masters. Others are PhD students, are also some of them are even finishing their postdoc. So it's important to have a career balance besides gender and region balance in this type of opportunity. So I think that's creating opportunities and don't forgetting the new generations is really important. And also the second question was about what was the second one? It's
How to contribute to your research? If I am a young scientist, how can I contribute to your research?
well, in yes, we don't develop research, by ourselves. But one of the things that I like about yes is that you can, for example, you can be in a webinar and hear someone who is presenting something that you are working on the same topic, but in another part of the world. And that way, you are networking and you are creating contacts. Uh, and that can be something really fruitful for your research in the future. Or we have members that have been developing projects between themselves and they didn't know each other in person. um, I also have been working since 2017 with a lot of people developing projects and activities without knowing each other in person because all of our meetings are online. So right now and also I think the pandemic was a good example that we don't need to be like in the same room to develop projects of science or anything we want. So yeah, we always try to create opportunities to not only put in contact members who might have the same likes or the same are working on the same field, but also trying to how can I say it? Trying to develop new activities so our members can have new skills, can find other ways to make science, not only like in a lab, like in the typical way.
Okay, thank you very much, Valentina, and thank you for having given us like an example on how you young scientists can contribute also, for example, to the IPCC. Today we talk about IPCC actually in our sessions, and so it's connected to the topic of today. Today we are facing the track of Science for Change. That is one way of information for the ones that are following and also for the one that want to know a little bit more about Climate Social Forum. This year we are gonna use the framework of inform, inspire, integrate. And the first information that we can have is the scientific information. And thank you very much, Valentina, for providing us this great example of network. I hope that we can stay in touch also in the future and we can also
Yes.
collaborate in the future.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone has a question, you can reach us in our social media or also in our website. So we are happy to reply your questions. So thank you, Domenico, for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So for now, we are closing the stream on YouTube, but we are gonna hang out still into the metaverse. So if you want to join us on the metaverse, you can use the link that it's in the chat. Thank you very much to all and see you into the virtual room. Bye.